3 years ago, I really wanted the attraction of girls because I was lonely as fuck. And a big part of attraction is your looks. And bro, I frankly hated the way I looked. I hated my face, but I hated my body even more. Skinny arms, skinny legs, bro, just a fat stomach. And I hated it. I hated it so fucking much, and I wanted to change because I knew that if I wanted to attract the girls that I genuinely wanted, I didn't want no bimbo, bro. I wanted a high quality girl, and no high quality girl will be into a body that looks like that. Come on, bro. And just like that, bro, I started resistance training. I started in my brother's room, which is like a classic home workout setup with, like, the pull-up bar, the couple pairs of adjustable dumbbells and shit, and like a pseudo bench press. And I'm not gonna lie to you, bro, it was hard. It was genuinely hard for me. It was a struggle. It was a pain, bro. I didn't want to do it. It was so fucking hard. I even quit like 5 times during like 1 year, bro. During my first year, I quit like 5 times because it was just too much for me. And but there's one thought kept coming into my mind that kept coming me back, kept me coming back. And it was the fact that I realized that the more muscle I had on my frame, the more girls that I'm going to eventually attract in the future. Before you call me crazy and shallow, hear me out, right? We go to work to fulfill this basic human need of food and water, right? We go to work so we can afford food and water. There's nothing crazy about that. We go to the gym to build muscle, to get more girls. And girls are in fact a basic human need, believe it or not. Love and intimacy is a basic human need. And before you call me fucking shallow, bro, just think about the position I was in like 3 years back. I was lonely. I didn't have many friends even. I didn't have any genuine friends that I could really open up to. I obviously didn't have any girls that were attracted to me at all, and I resorted to playing video games 12 hours straight. So of course I'm gonna feel fucking empty in life, and of course I'm gonna resort to this shit. And you might say, you don't need muscle to attract girls. Well, it sure as hell fucking helps. As I built more muscle throughout these 2.5 years, and I built a good physique, I attracted more girls. It was as simple as that. It's like a linear fucking curve, a linear fucking graph. It's not that fucking deep, bro. If you have more muscle in your frame, you will attract more girls. When I actually built a better physique, I put my pictures on like Tinder and stuff, I got way more success than if I didn't have this good body to start with. Like, truly, the people that say that muscle doesn't help with getting girls, they just don't pair it well enough with proper sex appeal, right? Those guys are probably just, they don't, like, you need to pair it well with sex appeal, right? If of course no girl's gonna be into you if you're just if you don't have any social skills, you don't know how to present yourself well, then of course, bro, you're gonna start thinking that muscle is useless. But genuinely, it's one of the most important things for female attraction, and it was by far the best decision I've ever made in my entire life, because now I'm going on multiple dates a fucking month just because I've built a good physique that I can show off online in real life. And in this long ass video, probably, I'm gonna tell you everything in this noggin that I know about building a good body, from pretty much taking you from step one all the way to the end point of where I want you to be, where you know everything and you probably wouldn't need another video on how to build a good body. A quick intro though of who I am. My name is Manish, and I help guys look better so that people can treat them better, because we all deserve to get treated better, right? And this is just a quick plug. You can skip this part if you want. If you're someone who's super serious about wanting to improve their appearance, you got motivated the fuck by me, then the first link in the description below is going to be a booking calling. It's a free booking page, and you're going to schedule a free call with me, one-to-one advice straight from me on how to actually build muscle and build a good body that attracts these girls, right? Literally one-to-one from me. So if you're interested in that, bro, go ahead and click that first link in the description below right now. But let's move on to the actual video. All right, so in this video, we'll be covering a lot of things, starting from benefits of building a good body, focus on moderate to high rep training, focus on the stretch, tension is key, failure training is a must, progressive overload is king, best workout routines, most people train like wusses, my workout routine, don't be afraid to change it up, protein per pound of body weight. I prefer eating more proteins than fats. Calories, maintenance, and countenance. Counting. Hard gainer, skinny fat, how to track weight, eat the foods you can stick to, not seeing progress. With this, you'll see heaps of progress. Starting with the benefits of building a good body, right? I already explained like some of the benefits before with attraction with girls, but what else is there? Of course, you're gonna be overall happier. You're gonna be, bro, if you wake up every single day and you have a good fucking shredded six pack and you have muscle in your frame, how the fuck are you not gonna be happy, bro? You're gonna, you put this much hard work into yourself that, I don't know, 1% of the world would, 1% of the population would do. Then you're gonna naturally, your baseline of happiness is gonna be naturally way higher than everyone else's, right? Because everyone else wakes up and they have a fat fucking belly they have to look at. I mean, of course you're just genuinely gonna be happier, bro, because you've put in this hard work that no one else has. So that's one thing of, building a good physique. You're just honestly gonna be a lot happier than before. The next thing is progression, and especially as a guy, we need to see progress in order to stay motivated, right? Like we get super motivated when we see progress in like a video game or whatever the fuck, and in real life as well. If we see progress in the mirror, if we see progress in our lifts, how strong we're getting, we're gonna be super happy, and that kind of links back to the happiness as well with like progression. But yeah, as men, we need to see progress, and the gym is like probably the go-to place for seeing progress as a guy, because again, like your strength goes up, you're gonna see muscle in the mirror, and you're gonna treat it like a game, right? Because us guys, we love treating everything like a game. And final benefits is obviously the girls' attraction, right? The reason you clicked on this video. And yeah, man, it genuinely does help with girls' attraction, right? I wouldn't be getting nearly as many matches on Tinder and, all that if I didn't have a good physique, right? I wouldn't be going on these dates if I didn't have this good physique. And that's, you obviously, social skills does matter a lot as well, but if when paired with a good physique, you will be unstoppable. You'll be unstoppable because it's literally infinite fucking sex appeal when you have a nice six pack with muscle. Alrighty, so first thing we're going to be covering is focusing on moderate to high repetition training. Now, I always see everyone in the gym, training with really low weight, not low weights, low reps. So basically, one repetition, by the way, is, let's say you're doing shoulder press, and this is 1 rep, 2 reps, 3 reps, 4 reps. I see a lot of people in the gym training in like, let's say 1 to 5 to 6 rep range. And there's nothing inherently wrong with this if that's what you're doing, because when you train in this lower rep range, you're going to be biasing strength instead of muscle gain. And this isn't always the case. I'm going to explain later that, but you'd want to be training in this more higher rep range, because again, like every big motherfucker I speak to in the gym, right? Every big guy who's been training for like 10 plus years, pretty much the bodybuilder looking guys, they always tell me to focus on lightweight, higher reps, and I don't think we should count this out here. Obviously, you should be training with every single rep range. Personally, I wouldn't really use a lower rep range though. I wouldn't be going less than maybe like 5 reps per whatever set. So I would do most of my sets from like 8 to 12 rep range, and I would even go all the way up to 20 with some exercises. But the thing is, guys, some people do see good progress in terms of muscle and strength when they train in a lower rep range. So again, it's all up to experimentation, right? Like, but I'd say for most people to stick with like a moderate to higher rep range, I'd say anywhere between 6 to 20 reps is going to be a good point for you. But again, just experiment with it. I'd say stick with that higher rep range. All right, next up is focusing on the stretch and the contraction. Now, okay, so basically the stretch is the part of the lift. So let me give you an example here. I'm doing shoulder press again. Pretty much this is the repetition, right? The stretched portion of the lift is when in the portion of the lift where the muscle is the most stretched. So in this case, when you're doing shoulder press, the muscle that's being used is the shoulder. pretty much the front deltoid muscle. And that front deltoid muscle is the most stretched in the bottom position, right? It's the most stretched here. And when you go all the way up in the near lockout position, that's when the muscle is most contracted and the most hard. So that's what the stretch and the contraction is. Same thing when you're doing like a bench press, your chest is going to be stretched at the bottom, contracted at the top. Every single movement, every exercise you do, there will be a stretch and a contraction, okay? And the research shows, like recent research has shown that the stretch portion of a lift is the most anabolic part and will actually build the most muscle compared to any other part of the lift. Now, I'm going to explain why the contraction, you should still do the contraction part of the lift, but I'm just telling you now that the stretch part of the lift seems to be a little bit more important. So what I mean by this is make sure on every single exercise you actually get that full fucking stretch, right? When you fucking feel that you're when you're doing bench press, bro, when you're doing dumbbell press, you better feel that fucking pec stretch at the bottom because that's going to be the most anabolic part of the lift and you don't want to miss out on that one, right? And there's heaps of bodybuilders and stuff that half rep their sets, bro. And pretty much what they do is they don't even do the contracted, they don't even like do full range of motion basically. They do they half rep it and they don't actually get the full range of motion because they don't want to get the contracted position because they feel a better burn here in the stretch position and that actually allows them to probably build more muscle. And that's something you could potentially try, but I would recommend to at least start off with full range of motion like at the start, right? Because we shouldn't really rule out the contracted position of the lift because there's not as much research showing that the contracted position is more better than the stretch. In fact, obviously I just explained that the stretch is better, but I don't think we should rule out the contracted position, because at least for me, bro, like let's say you're doing like chest flies or something, and the contracted position is the part where you're gonna squeeze the muscle really hard and actually genuinely feel that muscle working and contract and like get a much better mind muscle connection to that specific muscle. And I genuinely do think there is merit to doing both the stretch and the contracted fucking dog, both the stretch and the contracted position. So I'd say do both. And but for some movements I'd say you could possibly half rep it and still see like pretty good gains and stuff. Just for now, stick to full range of motion, focus on the stretch, and the contraction position isn't as important as the stretch, but I'd still say to do it, especially for certain exercises which really feel good during the squeeze, like a chest fly for example, a bicep curl like on a preacher curl machine, like really good squeezes. Alrighty, next thing is tension is key. Now, tension is one of the main driving forces of what actually builds the muscle. It's tension, right? It's tension on the muscle. When you're doing shoulder press again, what's happening? Tension is being put on the shoulder. And basically, we just need to know how to maximize this tension. And guys, it's pretty simple, right? So the most anabolic part of the lift is not actually when you're pushing it up. Not actually when you're pushing it up, right? It's actually when you're bringing it down. And what you need to do is always, so that's a negative portion. That's called the negative. When you're bringing the weight down, this is called a positive, negative. What you want to do is slowly lower down on the negative as slow as possible. Probably like 2 to 3 seconds. Not as slow as possible, but keep it a lot slower than the positive. You want to be as fast as possible and explosive as possible when you push the weight up. But when you lower it down, bro, take it slow. Take it slow. It'll burn, but that's the point. Because the lowering phase is the most anabolic part of the lift and will provide the most tension to the muscle, which will allow it to grow more, right? And that's also coming into play with the stretch position, because you're leaving the muscle in the stretch position for even longer, which will provide tension in the stretch position, which will grow the muscle faster, better, stronger, everything, right? Don't fucking, have stupid fucking form. Explosive in the top, slow on the way down. Every single exercise, bro. I don't give a fuck what exercise. I genuinely don't give a fuck what exercise, bro. Every single exercise needs to be in this tempo. Follow that tempo, right? Follow that tempo. And if you can't do that tempo, if you're struggling with lowering the weight too quickly, lower the weight. You're using too heavy. You're lifting too heavy, bro. You need to lower the weight. Use lighter weights. And I know that's like an ego kill, but you'll make more gains in the future, bro. You'll genuinely make more gains, and slowly make up to that. Slowly get back to that weight again with proper form. Alrighty, next thing is failure training is a must. Okay, so there's this huge debate online whether or not you should take a muscle till failure every set, or even if you should take a muscle till failure, or you should do this thing and it's called RPE, and you don't take a muscle till failure. You pretty much stay a few reps short of failure. Now, what do I personally think of this? Well, I pretty much already said it, but I genuinely do think failure training is a must. Like, I gotten in the loop where, let me tell you this, right? There was this one time where I plateaued completely. I didn't know what the fuck to do. My strength plateaued. I didn't see any progress in the mirror at all. I didn't know what the fuck to do. So what did I do? I searched up online on how to, what was wrong with me, right? I put up like, Reddit and all that. And I came across these YouTubers who explained that pretty much I was training too hard. I was training too hard and I wasn't recovering enough. My central nervous system was fried. Now, maybe that was like 25% true, but obviously there was other underlying issues for why I was, not making progress. And so pretty much I pulled my training back, so I didn't take any sets to failure. I started training like a wuss, basically 3 times a week. 3 times a week isn't bad, but pretty much I didn't take any sets to failure and thought that would build more muscle because I'm recovering more as well, right? Surely. No. Obviously, I didn't build a fucking gram of muscle during those 3-4 months. I wasted a lot of time thinking that this was building more muscle, but it really, really was not. And that's why I genuinely do think that training till failure is a must. If you don't know what, I should have explained this earlier, but failure training is basically, I'm going to use shoulder press again as an example. Pretty much when your last repetitions look like this, bro. So let's say this is rep 8. This is rep 9. Struggling to get it up. You're still lowering really slowly because you've got really good form and you want to focus on the stretch so it builds more muscle. And the last rep is like this. And you got it up. That's RPE 10. That's actually not failure yet. When you lower it down, you still have really good form. You still fucking have really good form. You still focus on the stretch. You don't give a fuck about the pain because you are a fucking G. And then you push. And no. That's failure. That's true muscular failure. I was gonna say, is that fucking mechanical failure? No, that's muscular failure. Yeah, and that's what you need to be doing every single set. Now that's my opinion. You can feel free to disagree with that, bro. But in my personal experience, this is what, like, training this way is what's built me the most muscle. And this is where the whole, recovery thing comes into play. I mean, how the fuck am I supposed to recover after, like, for my next workout if I'm taking every set to failure? How am I supposed to do that? I'll explain exactly what I personally think and what I would do and what I actually do now, because this is how I train and I've been making a lot of progress. I'll explain that very soon. But for now, bro, I'd honestly recommend to take most sets to failure. Obviously, you probably shouldn't take something like, squats to failure that often, bench press, if it's something more heavier that could injure you, bro, be smart about it, right? Don't do your fucking deadlifts, bro. Don't take like heavy, extremely dangerous things to failure but on, isolations and stuff, things that, bicep curls, always take that shit to failure, bro. Always. You're not going to build any muscle if you're not taking a muscle till failure? Why would a muscle grow? If you do fucking some of these, and then you do that, and then you just stop your set, the muscle doesn't have a reason to grow. Why would the muscle grow if you're not training, if you're not taking it to its full, capacity? The reason it grows is because it fucking failed last time. So it needs to grow to get better. Okay, so moving on to progressive overload is king. Now, this is also one of the major driving forces of like indicators of whether or not you're actually building muscle or not, right? It's progressive overload. If you don't know what progressive overload is, it's basically when you get it's when you use higher weight or higher reps, or better form, better tension. But just focus on better higher weight and higher reps. Basically, week to week, bro, you want to make sure that you're either getting stronger or you're using more reps of your sets of your workouts. For example, bro, bench press. Let's say week 1 you did 40 kgs for 6 reps. Sweet. Next time you do bench press, aim for 40 kgs, 7 reps, and then 8 reps, and then 9 reps, and then you up the weight afterwards. This way, bro, you know that you are in fact building muscle because you are getting stronger, because strength gains is a direct correlation of muscle growth. As long as the rep range isn't too low. But again, that could correlate also as well. It depends, right? But in general, bro, strength gains equals muscle gains as long as you're training in this hypertrophy rep range, which I explained earlier. And you want to make sure that you're getting stronger, or you're using higher repetitions. And this is super, super important, right? Progressive overload. And a good way to, see if you're actually making progress is to obviously track everything, right? Track your reps, track your weights on like an app. I use this app called Rep Count. I'll be completely honest though. You can 100% train like that, but there's two types of trainers. There's two types of people who train. There's a person who tracks absolutely everything, and there's the person who tracks absolutely nothing, and they both can make like similar amounts of progress. Now, I used to be someone who tracked everything, right? I used to be the person who tracked, this time I did a workout and I got 16 kg dumbbells and I did it for 10 reps and, all 3 sets. And I tried to aim for more reps the next week. That was me for a long time. But actually, what happened with me, bro, was I focused too much on trying to progressive overload, and sometimes I just couldn't do it. Sometimes, there was other issues as well, and I just couldn't progressively overload. And that would actually ruin my mental health, believe it or not, bro. Because I based my happiness on the amount of muscle I gained, because I thought that was a direct correlation of, attracting girls and stuff, right? So I got pretty fucking depressed when I didn't get stronger in the gym. And that's why I actually moved on to not really tracking anything, but just training really fucking hard and not really counting the reps. So there's something you can, think about whether or not you want to be more of a tracker or a non-tracker, right? I kind of converted into a non-tracker, and that depends on you, bro, because if you are, taking every set to failure, you should naturally be progressively overloading. As long as you don't feel fucking, tired and sluggish all the time, you don't feel like the muscle isn't recovered enough, then you should be fine to not track anything. But honestly, track. I wouldn't really. I would recommend, just try and track stuff for at least a month to see how it is. If you don't like it, it's fine, and it's honestly up to you, bro. But personally, I'm not a tracker anymore. All right, moving on to best workout routines. Now, okay, the science says that working a muscle twice a week, so let's say you hit chest twice a week, is more optimal than hitting it once a week. And that's what the science says, right? If you want to listen to that, then go ahead and you do like a push-pull leg split. It depends on how many days you want to go to the gym, right? If you go to the gym just like 3 times a week, bro, just do a full body split, or even a push-pull legs if you want. If you go to the gym 4 times a week, upper lower, 5 times a week, that's when it gets a little bit experimental. And in my personal opinion, bro, I've actually I was someone who was doing push pull legs for around 2 years, and once I actually started training really hard, right? Push pull legs is a split where you do each muscle group twice a week, and in an optimal type of, in a sciencey type of sense. And this is linking back to what I was talking about before about, recovering and failure training. When I was training super hard on this push pull leg split, I actually wasn't recovering enough. I actually wasn't, my muscles weren't recovering enough in between the workouts. Let's say I did chest on Monday, so push on Monday with chest in it, and I took all my sets to muscular failure. On Thursday, it just wasn't recovered enough, right? And that's when you can say to just reduce the volume or lower the intensity. But I wanted to train hard, bro. I didn't feel like it was right training like a wuss. And I wanted to do heaps of volume. And that's when I actually switched to the bro split. Pretty much, I just do each muscle once, maybe like, let's say I do chest on Monday, and then maybe I'll hit it around Sunday. Or that's like a good spot. Um, and kind of like repeat there, or like just Monday, but once a week. And this isn't optimal in the sciencey sense, but with this split, bro, I can actually train with high volume and actually high intensity, make every set excruciatingly hard, absolutely fucking destroy the chest until it just isn't working anymore, and get really good, DOMs the next day. Then wait for it to recover for an entire week and then do it again. I don't know, man. This just works better for me. Like, I don't know. I can't explain it. The science doesn't agree with it. This just works better for me, right? So sometimes you shouldn't really listen to what the science says and kind of just do what your own body wants you to do. So my current workout routine looks like something like Monday is chest day, Tuesday is back day. Actually, wait, let me, oh, fuck, I forgot my own workout routine. Monday, okay, the thing is, I have really weak arm genetics, right? My arms are genetically very small compared to my other body parts, which is why I do train my arms twice a week. And I actually do it after my chest and back day. So I do Monday chest and a bit of triceps at the end. Tuesday, I do back and a bit of biceps at the end. Wednesday's legs. Thursday is shoulder day. Friday is a full on arm day. And then Sunday would be leg day again. I should have started I should have started with Sunday, but pretty much I do legs twice a week as well. But yeah, man, that's my split. And usually I do like 5 exercises for like chest or something. So I'd go like fucking flat barbell press, incline dumbbell press, dips, flies, uh the pushing machine, the chest machine. I do a whole bunch of just volume and intensity, and absolutely just kill the chest, and it just really works, right? I don't like to overthink this part. I just kind of go with how I feel instead of looking and tracking everything and getting super overthinking and everything, bro, and it just ruins the workout for me. So that's how I operate now. Okay, and yeah, I forgot to mention this one thing, but most people train like wusses, and recovery is only important if you actually train hard. If you don't train hard, if you don't take muscles to its absolute failure every single set, then you don't have a need to recover that long, right? If you only need good recovery if you train genuinely hard and you're gonna hit that muscle again during the week. That's when you need a recovery, right? Like what the fuck is that? In like, in like a push pull leg split, right? Monday chest, Thursday chest again. Yeah, then sure, you're gonna need recovery. But if you don't train hard, you don't need much recovery. Yeah, that's why I switched to more of the bro split, where I can just absolutely destroy a muscle and wait an entire week for it to recover. Maybe a little bit less than that, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Alrighty, next thing is don't be afraid to change it up. Now this was a big I don't know why I used to be so scared of changing my workouts up, because I thought that, you know, like it wasn't optimal to keep on changing your workouts up, keep on changing the exercises you do, the rep ranges. It wasn't optimal. But what I've realized recently is a big part of why I used to plateau in a lot of my in my journey, bro, I used to just straight up not make any progress, was because I didn't really switch up my exercises much. I was doing the exact same exercises, the same movements, in the same way, and I was expecting to get stronger. Why? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And I just wasn't making any progress. So in this case, bro, if let's say you're doing like a chest day, and let's say you're due to do bench press on your chest day for the first exercise. That's what's on the workout program, and you can't change that, right? And then you end up doing it, and it feels like shit for some reason. You haven't made progress in it in a while. You've been getting the same amount of reps, same weight for ages, and it just sucks. Change it up, bro. Change it up, man. What's stopping you from changing it up? Do fucking flat dumbbell for a while. Do something else. Do a flat machine press. Just change it up. And when you come back to that exercise weeks later, a month or two later, you're gonna be stronger at the flat dumbbell, at the flat bench press, anyways, because you've taken a break from it and you've gotten better at other exercises. Because our muscles, you need to shock the muscle, right? You need to actually put your muscle through different movements, through different motions. You can't keep doing the same shit and expecting different results, basically. So my practical way of doing this would be like, if I go into a workout and I like my lifts have plateaued recently. I've noticed that like I haven't been making much progress on the bench press, on the squat recently. Then I just switch it up for that workout and see what it feels like. Like switch to an alternative exercise. Just search up alternative to bench press, alternative to squat. Search up something online and it'll come up with an alternative. Just you do that for a bit. Do that for the next couple of weeks. Get stronger on that. Come back to the original lift weeks later, and you're gonna feel a lot better, bro. Trust me, 100%. You have my fucking word on that. You're gonna feel so much better. Alrighty, moving on to the diet section of this video. And yeah, the diet. Obviously, your diet is obviously a big part of bodybuilding and building a good physique. And the first thing we need to cover is 0.7 to 1 gram of pound per protein, a pound of what the fuck am I saying? 0.7 grams to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So you're gonna have this thing called your calorie maintenance, and this is basically the amount of calories you eat per day to maintain your body weight. And this is literally easy as fuck. You just search up calorie calculator on Google and click on the first link, put your stats inside, and you'll know your maintenance calories, the amount of calories you need to eat. Now, how about the macronutrients within these calories? So this is the main driving force of building muscle. It's protein, right? Protein is a macronutrient. So all foods have different macronutrients inside of them, right? Rice is pretty much all carbs. Chicken has mostly protein, some fats. Avocado is all fats. Every food has a different amount of macronutrients inside of it, and you need to have a certain split, like a certain percentage split of these three macronutrients inside of your diet in order to build muscle the most optimal way. And protein is by far the best macronutrient in terms of building muscle, right? So you're gonna want to have a lot of protein. But according to ChatGPT, the most optimal macronutrient split for a guy who's around 160 pounds is apparently a diet that consists of 27% protein, 54% carbohydrates, and 19% fats. Now, is this really correct? Well, it can be. I'd say someone who's generally on the skinnier side, who's just wanting to put on more size and muscle. So you really are skinny right now. You don't have any fat on your stomach. You're just really skinny. Yeah, this is a good macronutrient split, around 27% protein, 54% carbs, 19% fats. Yeah, I'd say that would be pretty good for you. But what if you're someone who's a little bit more skinny fat? Like me growing like me before, right? I was skinny fat. Would you still say this is the same, use this macronutrient split? I wouldn't say so. Because when you're skinny fat, guys, you need to be really careful with the amount of calories you're eating, right? You don't want to be eating too much. If you're someone who's skinny fat, bro, what I would genuinely recommend you, because the whole reason you're skinny fat right now is because you have a lack of muscle mass, right? But the thing is, you should absolutely gain weight in my humble opinion, but you should do it in a very slow way, a very slow, lean, caloric surplus, because then you'll put on muscle, but you'll also put on a very, very, very small amount of fat, not that much fat, but you'll mostly just put on muscle, right? If you're someone who's a more hard gainer who has a hard time gaining weight, then you can definitely be a lot more rough with this, right? It depends. But if you're skinny fat, I'm telling you this right now, do not go on a big fucking bulk. Do not, bro. Don't make the same mistake I did, because I thought that, this would help me put on a fuck ton of muscle. You need to take it slow, bro, please, because you don't want to put on unnecessary fat when you are already skinny fat. So for hard gainers, the skinny fucking guys who genuinely cannot gain weight, I'd say a good amount to gain per week is around 0.5 to 1 pound per week. That's if you're hitting that, that's fucking awesome. Stick to it. If you're hitting that already, do not change a thing about your diet. Stick to it. If you're skinny fat, however, I'd say gaining like 1 to 2 pounds a month is good. Again, you don't want to gain weight too quickly when you're skinny fat. Fucking burping, bro. You don't want to gain too much when you're skinny fat too quickly. Sorry, because when you gain weight too quickly, bro, you most likely didn't build muscle. It's mostly all fat, and trust me, I know from experience. I've done the dirty bulk. It wasn't even that dirty, bro. It just was a surplus of too many calories that got me way fatter than I needed to be. But how about if you're genuinely fat? If you genuinely like need to lose weight, then I'd say a good place to be is like 0.5 to 1.5 pounds a week lost. Now, I was speaking about macronutrient splits and what would be the best. And the first one I got from ChatGPT, that would be really good for a hard gainer who's struggling to gain weight, because it's like 50% carbs, right? Carbs are the most calorie dense macronutrient, right? Besides fats, but we don't really eat that much fats compared to protein and carbs. So carbs is going to be what's taking up most of our diet when you are trying to gain weight as a skinny guy. And yeah, carbs is going to be your best friend here, bro. But how about when you're skinny fat? Like I said before, you don't want to be gaining weight too quickly. So I'd say roughly maybe like 40% carbs, even like 30 to 40% carbs would make up your diet as a skinny fat person. The rest would just put that into protein and fats, bro. Because protein is a lot more satiable and a lot lower in calories than carbs is, right? So you're naturally going to eat a little bit less. But how about when you're trying to just lose weight? So you're genuinely just overweight, chubby, you want to lose weight. Honestly, bro, in my humble opinion, I'd say the best diet you could possibly go on is like the carnivore diet, if I'm being completely honest. Pretty much, pretty much, I'd say the most optimal diet for you is to not eat many carbs, if at all, and just focus on proteins and fats. And this is very healthy, by the way. I mean, I've done this, I do this sometimes, and I feel fucking amazing. Not just like in my body, but in my mind as well. My mind is literally clear as fuck when I'm on that diet, because carbs does, make us slower in the head. It does. It makes us sluggish. It doesn't make us feel good. But but yeah, man. Like, it's super simple. As a overweight person, I'd honestly just say to lower your carb intake and up your protein at least. Now, how to track your weight and calorie counting. Okay, so should you calorie count? Basically, calorie counting is you you weigh out every gram of rice that you eat. You weigh out the chicken breast. You weigh out the broccoli. You weigh it out everything, and then you put it on this app called MyFitnessPal, and you track that. You track that every single day, every week, and you should slowly, see progress in the weight, like, very statistically. 100%, bro. 100%. You can absolutely do that, and it makes a lot of sense to do that. If you're truly serious about wanting this, 100% track everything. However, if you don't want to track everything, that's honestly fine as well, because didn't. I didn't really track everything. And the thing with this is you kind of need to listen to you kind of need to be in tune with your own body and kind of know how much you need to eat. And when you get up to a certain level in this, you kind of know that intuitively. But I will say that getting to that level might take a bit of practice. So what I would honestly recommend you to do is at least track your diet for at least a week or 2 weeks at first, and then you can, get off it if you want. And you need to track your weight on a weekly basis. Don't track it day to day. Don't track it day to day. Track it on a weekly basis. And you're obviously going to need, a scale for this, the one that you stand on to track your weight. What you need to do every time you wake up during the morning, only in the morning, after you've woken up, after you have no food in the system, you've got no water in your system, you've taken your fucking daily shit, that's when you track your weight. You do it completely naked, track your weight then. Do it again a week later, and if you see that you are gaining weight slowly or you are losing weight slowly, that's really good, man. If you are hitting that ideal weight range in what I was explaining earlier about in how much you should be gaining or losing per week, if you are hitting that, if you're within that range, bro, keep it and don't change anything, because results take a while, right? And you want to keep what's working, and if you do plateau in your weight, then you change it. You don't want to be you want to be reactionary to this. You don't want to be you don't want to assume things, because let's be real, bro, it's fucking difficult to assume the weight of our body because we move around differently every day. We do all these different things. So just keep to it and be vigilant and be consistent at it. Alrighty, next thing is eat the foods that you can stick to. Now, contrary to what everyone else says, everyone else says that you need to be on this specific diet, you need to eat this, you need to eat that. Honestly, bro, for my honest advice to someone who's beginning is eat the foods that you can genuinely stick to, because a non-perfect diet done consistently is a lot better than a perfect diet done non-consistently. 100% it is, right? If you found this really good, perfect diet split online, but you don't even like the foods in it and you don't even stick to it for like a week, what the fuck is the point, right? Eat the foods that you genuinely like, but are, obviously you don't eat fucking donuts and shit, right? You don't want to be eating dirty just sugary bullshit. Obviously stick to something that, for example, right, if you don't like rice and you see a bodybuilding diet which has rice in it, I don't know, replace it with pasta or something, replace it with bread. Eat something that you can genuinely eat instead. If you don't like chicken, replace it with beef. Just have some thought for yourself here, and don't be afraid to switch it up. And again, this is where like the macronutrient thing comes in place, because you want to replace whatever meal it is you want to replace with like a specific, with like a different food which has a similar amount of macronutrients inside of it. So yeah, bro, like don't be too strict with it. Don't be too, you need to eat this, you need to eat that, especially when you're just starting out, bro. Don't be too hard on yourself in terms of the diet. Obviously, again, don't eat the donuts, the sugary shit. Stick to something that's reasonable. So what my diet personally looks like right now, it's mostly proteins and fats and like not too many carbs. I do eat like, 20 to 30% of carbs, but it's mostly in proteins and fats, and that's genuinely like how I like to eat it. And in terms of the foods, bro, it's just the foods I like to eat. It's, it's cooked chicken breast, seasoned chicken breast, rice sometimes, avocados, cheese. I love fucking cheese, bro. I love all those stuff. And it's up to you to find out what types of foods that you can genuinely stick to that are relatively healthy. Okay? Because all those foods I listed just before, the ones that I eat, they're relatively healthy. They are healthy to, relatively healthy, and that's where you need to find out for yourself, right? But bro, there's just so many different variety of foods and stuff that I can't really go over, and there's just a lot of options. Alrighty, so not seeing progress. If you're not seeing progress, if you've plateaued for like months upon months and you genuinely don't know what the fuck to do, it's going to be because of one of these 3 reasons. You're either not eating enough, you're not training hard enough, or you're not resting enough. Let's go over them. So not eating enough. If you're trying to gain weight and you expect to make gains in the gym, but you haven't been making any gains, but you haven't even been eating enough, you haven't been putting weight on the you haven't been, putting on weight on the scale, you need to eat more, bro, because where the fuck is that strength and that muscle going to come from if it's not from the calories that you eat? So you need to be putting on, you know, if you're a hard gainer, bro, 0.5 to at least 1 pound per week if you want to be seeing progress consistently. So that's one big reason of not, seeing progress, not seeing progress in the mirror, not seeing progress in the strength. This is mostly for like the skinnier guys trying to gain weight and muscle though. But I mean, if you're trying to lose weight and you're not seeing progress in the mirror, then obviously you're eating a bit too much and you need to lower your calories a little bit. You just start tracking your calories and start seeing how much you're really eating, because trust me, it's probably a lot more than you think it is. And if you're not seeing progress in your strength, your lifts, besides not eating enough, there could be other reasons, like you're not switching your exercise variety enough. You're not. That's actually the main thing, bro. That really did change the game for me is when I actually started switching up my exercise variety. That's when I actually started seeing better progress in the actual lifts I was doing. So another reason for not seeing progress is not training hard enough. Now, this is most people's issue, right? They just genuinely don't train hard enough. If you're not grunting during your last set, you're not your last rep, sorry, you're not training hard enough. You need to see a muscle doesn't have a need to grow if it's not getting put through an insane amount of stress and tension. And the best part of the lift is in the last 3 reps, right? The last 3 reps is the failure reps. And the final reason why you might not be seeing progress is you're not resting enough. You're not recovering enough in between your workouts. I don't think overtraining is a thing, really, as long as you recover enough. And again, this comes back to like the push-pull leg, what workout split to do. Because again, if you're training your chest on Monday and then you're doing it again on Thursday, like you're not gonna, like if you're training your chest really fucking hard on Monday, it's not gonna be recovered for Thursday's workout. And this was what I was just constantly in the loop. I was constantly in this one loop of thinking I was overtraining, which I mean, I guess technically it was more so I was under recovering, right? I wasn't really on the right split for how I personally like to train. And if you're not resting enough, bro, you're not gonna allow your muscles to grow and develop properly for your next workout. So you're kind of just pumping it for no reason, and that's gonna do a lot more harm than good. So you need to analyze, listen to your own body. What is it telling you? Is it telling you your muscles aren't recovered enough? Is it telling you you're sluggish? Are you sweating too much in the gym now? Chances are you're under recovered, and you need to either switch up your training program or switch up your volume and your intensity. Alrighty, so with everything that I've covered in this video, you will see a lot of progress in the gym, right? This is pretty much everything you'll ever need to build a very solid physique. And I really put a lot of work into this. I'm tired as shit. I'm genuinely just tired as shit. And I really hope this helps, bro, because building a good physique is by far one of the best things a man can do for himself, for other people, for life, bro. Is just the best thing ever, right? It's good for your mental health. It's good for it's good for fucking everything. If you want my one-on-one coaching for building a good physique that actually attracts girls, and you don't have a lot of time, so you maybe work like a 9-to-5 job thinking that you can't really build a good physique while you have a really tight schedule, don't worry, bro. I got you. The first link in the description below is going to be a link, and you're just going to click on the link and it's going to be a free booking page, right? You're just going to book a free call with me, and I'll assess your own unique situation, how I can, how we can deal with it, and I'll create a structured, tailored plan towards you for how you can build your own aesthetic physique that attracts attracts girls and stuff. All right. So if you want my genuine one-on-one help with you building your own physique, bro, go ahead and check out that first link in the description below right now. I don't mind. Again, I don't mind if you don't click on it. That's completely fine. But from the bottom of my heart, bro, genuinely, if you do have a problem with attracting girls nowadays and you just want to put on more muscle, you want to be more confident in your own skin, I mean, feel free to check it out, bro. This one click could potentially change your entire life. So that's that for the video, bro. If you liked it, go ahead and liked it. Go ahead and press the like button. What the fuck am I saying? If you have any comments, go ahead and comment and subscribe if you want, bro. Thank you for watching.